This is it. NetherRealm has announced the Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition. They tweeted out just about a week ago from the official Mortal Kombat account, an era built for peace and tranquility is destined to fester with chaos and deception. Experience the ultimate version of Liu Kang's new era with the Mortal Kombat 1 Definitive Edition. It's available now. It bundles in Combat Pack 1, the Chaos Reigns DLC, and Combat Pack 2 all into one big bundle. And people have said that this marks the end of Mortal Kombat 1. I'm inclined to agree. Mortal Kombat 1 is dead. Long live Injustice 3. Listen, it's a bummer, obviously, what happened with Mortal Kombat. So many people are not a fan of the fact that its lifespan was very similar to that of MK11, even though it was promised to be the longest supporting NRS title yet. And I feel for those fans. You know, there are problems that I have with Mortal Kombat 1 that I want to go over in this video, actually, but I'm also an Injustice diehard fan. I am very excited about the possibility that we're getting a new Injustice game. And there's so much evidence to support it at this point. You know, James Gunn has said he's had conversations with NetherRealm Studios and Rocksteady about DC games. What other DC game really is NetherRealm going to be working on besides an Injustice? You know, there's evidence of you guys hitting the thumbs up button and subscribing to the channel, turning on the notifications. That's more than enough evidence for me that Injustice 3 is next. But no, also, I mean, there's rumors and tons of information out there from official sources or not, people who know things or not. It sets a terrain for us that we can see and potentially spell out that Injustice 3 is most likely the next game from NetherRealm Studio. And yeah, of course, again, I am very excited about Injustice 3 being next, but there are some key things that I do think NetherRealm need to learn from what they did with Mortal Kombat 1. By most accounts, you know, Mortal Kombat 1 is a success, okay? It's still a top seller. It's making a ton of money. It's selling a ton of copies. People are playing the hell out of the game. Maybe not necessarily on the competitive side, but definitely casually. There are so many people that are jumping on and buying copies of Mortal Kombat 1. And it wasn't like critically panned or something like that. It's just that there were some missteps for hardcore fans, for people who are really into this stuff, that I feel like they need to make sure they do better with their next game. But I also do think that a large part of the reason why Mortal Kombat 1 had suffered a couple of missteps is because of the fact that they didn't do what they normally did, what NetherRealm's normal tradition was. They would release MK9, then they would go to Injustice Gods Among Us, then they would go to MKX, then they would do Injustice 2, and then they went to Mortal Kombat 11, and we didn't get an Injustice 3 after that. We, in fact, got Mortal Kombat 1 instead. I think not having that break, not having that buffer to really cook up some ideas, to really make sure they knew how they were going to land and execute on these ideas, it made it so that the story in Mortal Kombat 1 suffered in some way. I think what they did with Reptile was awesome. I think what they did with Baraka was really intriguing as well. But there are some other characters that just didn't work for me. There's some story beats that didn't work for me. I wasn't super into the whole multiverse thing. And I think that a lot of this had to do with the fact that they just didn't have enough time to really work on these story beats. Now, why was Mortal Kombat 1 next? Why was it not Injustice 3? We'll never know the definitive answer. We'll know the definitive edition, but we'll never know what it boils down to truly. Maybe it was that they just had an idea they wanted to jump on right away. Maybe it was the fact that there was this whole merger at Warner Brothers at the time, and they wanted to release something that they knew was safe, that they knew was going to sell well, so they just said, okay, we're doing another Mortal Kombat instead of an Injustice 3. And if that was the plan, well, I think they succeeded. The game definitely did sell well, and in a lot of talks from David Zaslav, he has talked about focus on Mortal Kombat as a franchise that they want to work on, and that's actually led to people thinking that maybe they are just going to keep doing Mortal Kombat games. Remember, we're never going to get another Injustice game, but I think you're wrong, and we're getting another Injustice game. Just let me cope. But I'll say this much too when it comes to an Injustice 3. There is so much riding on that as a game, not just for WB Games. All right, we know that there's been some problems at WB Games. We've had the Wonder Woman game get canceled. We don't know if we're ever going to get a Superman game. We know obviously Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League was not a success, so much so that even in like recent earnings calls, they're still pointing the blame at that game. Gotham Knights also didn't do nearly as well as I imagine DC or WB Games wanted. So yeah, Injustice 3 has a lot riding on it for WB Games, but it really has a lot riding on it for the DC brand as a whole for pretty much everything that I just mentioned. We have not gotten a whole lot of like 10 out of 10 great, amazing DC things outside of the comic books. And I love the Zack Snyder stuff, okay? Snyder fans, just don't come at me, all right? I think Man of Steel is a masterpiece. I love Batman v Superman. I was an advocate for the Snyder Cut, but the DCEU did a lot of damage to the DC brand, and it created a lot of division amongst DC fans. Now, a new Superman is on the horizon, coming out this July. I'm personally extremely excited about it, and I'm just in general excited to jump into a new DC universe, a new DC thing. Again, I love what Snyder did, but I want something new, and there is a lot hinging on Superman being a success to revitalize DC as a brand for the general public. I mean, you know, we got Peacemaker Season 2 later in the summer. There's some other DC projects in the works that people are excited about. But on the game side of things, it's just Injustice 3, all right? Rocksteady might be working on another Batman Arkham game, but what that pretty much says is, outside of the Batman Arkham franchise, there are no other major DC gaming franchises besides Injustice. So yeah, there's a lot riding on the next Injustice game to be a success, to be big. But you know, NetherRealm has taken a long break. The last Injustice game came out in 2017. Its last update came out, I believe, in 2018. It has been at least 7 years since we've gotten anything from Injustice, and if the game doesn't come out for another year or two, it'll have been 8 to 9 more years since we got an Injustice game. They have had so much time to cook with that franchise, to really think up some ways to push it into the stratosphere, to come up with new ideas, new meaningful things for the Injustice universe. And I do think that NetherRealm is going to deliver on the story of it all. It's just gameplay where I think they really need to nail some things down, and as well, quality of life fixes and just general features, some basic key features that we need in the game on day one. Things that we're missing, honestly, from Mortal Kombat 1 on day one. And that's why I say that they need to learn lessons from MK1 and just go into Injustice 3 and deliver something big that'll help the DC brand, that'll help WB Games, and that will, you know, bring back some good faith from the fans to NetherRealm Studios. In conclusion, okay, I'm happy that Mortal Kombat 1 sold well. I'm happy that they nailed the gameplay in that game, and that hopefully they carry some of those interesting ideas and concepts into Injustice 3, and then take Injustice 3 and introduce some new and interesting concepts. And then I also hope that Injustice 3 gives NetherRealm the break that they need from Mortal Kombat, so that the next MK game can be the best one that we've gotten in the post-Midway era. I'm sad that we are pretty much done with Mortal Kombat 1 content, but I am happy that we're moving on to what their next game is. Please be Injustice 3, please be Injustice 3, please be Injustice 3. And with that being said, let me now kick it to you guys. Sound off your thoughts in the comments section below. I kind of rambled a little bit in this video, but I wanted to talk about, you know, DC, WB Games, Injustice, Mortal Kombat. I wanted to go over everything that's been going on here. I've had a lot on my mind, and I haven't really talked about MK on this channel in a while. So, sound over the thoughts in the comments. Do you think that Injustice 3 is next, and how do you feel now that all is said and done with Mortal Kombat 1? I've been Caboose. I'll see you guys later.
Put the devil on the other side, and I will show up. Evolved. Adapted. And prepared to fight.